You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's WWE Main Event After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE Main Event After Show.
Oh! He was talking about Throwback Thursday, bringing good old WCW Sting
You're
music.
listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network.
And AfterBuzz.
Yes.
All right, we're going, because Bing is for doing, and we are doing another WWE Main Event AfterBuzz. Welcome, everybody. I am professional wrestling's voice of choice, Christian Rosenberg, holding down the fort, but not doing it alone. By my side, I have someone who looks lovely, but if you say the wrong thing, she will beat you faster than you can say Cesaro. Kaori Takee, how are you, my dear?
I am good, and I just want to let everyone know that I'm still currently the predictions champ.
For only a few more days.
So just like Wade Barrett, I am going to lay my championship right here.
I can taste it. That title is coming to me.
I don't know.
We're gonna have our predictions for Payback in just a little bit, and we're gonna throw the Raw guys in on that too. So because they've been, since we started this title, they're like, oh wait, I think I can predict better than you guys. I want the title.
I don't know.
They want title shots over there.
I score pretty high.
You do.
So.
Well, we'll see how we do. But before we get to that, we got to talk about today's main event, which was for the week of June 12th, hailing from Greensboro, North Carolina. And this week on commentary, we have Josh Matthews, but there's no Ricardo.
Which you like?
Which I love Ricardo Rodriguez. I don't love him as on commentary. And there's Miz, but Miz is not at the commentary booth. Miz is coming down for in-ring competition. And at commentary in place of him is the Intercontinental Champion, as you stated just a moment ago, Mr. Wade Barrett.
Yes. I liked him on it.
And you liked how he looked very suave tonight, you felt. You enjoyed his look this evening.
What was the word I used? But no, he looked very dashing.
Dashing was the word you used. And then speaking of dashing, Miz's opponent on Main Event was a man who used to go by the name Dashing, and that is Mr. Cody Rhodes, this is a rematch from this past Monday's Raw, which was a rematch from the Extreme Rules pre-show, which was like a rematch of the other 5,000 times these two have wrestled, it seems like, in the last 6 months.
Yeah, but I guess we'll talk about it later, but I did enjoy this match.
It was a fun match. It's just the fact that we've seen Miz versus Cody Rhodes time after time after time. You know, I don't understand what they're doing with Cody Rhodes.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, every time I do see Cody Rhodes in the ring, I'm okay with it because I want to see more of him.
Exactly. We want to see more of Cody Rhodes. We want more of him, and we just keep having him in these non-advertised matches, and he always does great in them.
Yeah, he does. I like the fact that they switched over The Miz and Wade Barrett this week.
I enjoyed Wade Barrett on commentary. But the thing is, again, it's my same thing. I don't like a current wrestler to do commentary. But Miz has been solid, and I was actually really impressed by Wade Barrett tonight on commentary.
Yeah, I thought he was really good.
He was a fun heel color commentator.
Yeah.
Which we don't have too many of that.
And that accent
was good.
helps as well for me.
Whatever. Whatever. You and your accents. Cesaro, Wade Barrett, whatever.
Well, Cesaro doesn't talk much, but...
Well, Wade Barrett on commentary is talking about how he's had this long rivalry with The Miz, where, you know, back when they collided at the WrestleMania pre-show where Miz took the title, but then the next night on Raw, Wade Barrett won it back and has had it ever since. And they were also throwing in the fact that, you know, at Payback, you got Curtis Axel in the mix now that, unfortunately, Fandango got hurt, which upset me so much that he got hurt.
I was kind of bummed about that.
But
very bummed.
But now Curtis Axel in the mix, and Wade Barrett saying, you know, he's had some very impressive victories, but they're not the type of victories that Wade Barrett does. When Wade Barrett gets a win, his opponent is knocked out in the ring. So Wade Barrett talking some trash to the third-generation star Curtis Axel, which I found kind of interesting.
Of course, yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I'm trying to keep my predictions quiet till that comes.
No, don't worry, because we got a hard-hitting matchup right now with The Miz and Cody. The first several minutes, very back and forth. No one was really taking control. Early on, there was a slingshot by The Miz with Cody going to the turnbuckle that did not look very effective. Slingshots it's a much harder move than people think it is. Because, it's taking, the pull of one guy and then the timing of the other to, then kind of like leap and, nail themselves into the turnbuckle correctly. And this one just seemed a little off. They've both done better with this move in the past.
It didn't look very clean this time around.
No, it kind of almost was like a stumble, and his arm went and hit the turnbuckle, not his face.
Yeah, it was obvious that he got up and then kind of went to the ring.
Yeah. And like I said, but through the first, 5, 6, 7 minutes of this match, it was just Miz got a few moves in, then Cody got a few moves in, then Miz got a few moves in, Cody. And then we go to the commercial. It seemed kind of an awkward commercial placement.
It was a lot like that throughout the whole entire match. It was just back and forth, who's winning, who's losing. It just, everyone, like one time there was a count out with Miz, and then there was a count out with
Like they were getting
Rhodes.
very close to being counted out. And that part's good, to throw it in that both of these guys are attempting to win in that route. Even the Miz, which some people might throw the argument, well, Miz is a babyface. Why is he going for a count out victory? Hey, a win's a win.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my opinion on it. If you can win by count out, then you win by count out. Who cares?
True.
Your hand's still raised. You still get the winner's purse. We come back from the commercial break, and Miz actually then hits a very nice double axe handle off the apron. And then from there, Cody finally really gains control and then has control for several minutes by taking Miz's arm eventually and literally whipping it onto the ring post. Looked awesome. No pun intended on the word awesome there. It looked really awesome because it looked like Miz's wrist bounced off the steel post. It took you a minute to get what I meant there. But yeah, and then Miz just holding that wrist and arm throughout the rest of the match. And I mean, Cody, obviously, he still did some moves onto the arm and good ring psychology by him on it, but not doing as much as, say, you would think. But because that initial shot looked so vicious, it wasn't even really necessary because the entire time Miz is still, like holding his arm on the side or like behind, trying to protect. Exactly, he was a wounded soldier there.
Yeah,
really trying to like protect himself. But Miz eventually fights back, hits his nice backbreaker, neckbreaker combination that he does, but only gets a 2 count. And Miz then tries to go for the Skull Crusher finale, but again with the arm having some trouble locking in the move, which allows Cody to counter and then hits a beautiful disaster kick. But again, only gets a 2 count. We've seen Cody put some guys away with that move before, but not tonight, not the Miz. He kicks out. Cody wondering, what more do I have to do? Cody then, while Miz is trying to get back up, while Miz is in a seating position, Cody runs for a kick. Miz ducks, goes for a schoolboy, but as he rolls him up, then stands up, wraps the leg up, figure 4. Cody's in the middle of the ring. He cannot reach the rope. He's got no choice.
What did you think of?
But the tap. And the Miz gains another victory over Cody Rhodes and then has a nice little stare down with Mr. Barrett.
I love their stare downs. I like them. They're so theatrical.
Yeah, that one, and they've had a lot of time between the two of them, a long time, which is good. Some people might think it's gone a little too long, but at the same time, I really think this was all gelled to really help push Fandango, and then they kind of got stuck because he got hurt.
Yeah. I don't think it's too long. I think that their rivalry could last even longer, and I would enjoy.
I enjoy their matches. I don't have a problem with that feud lasting longer, and it's making a big deal of if it's a feud over the Intercontinental title, because really in the last couple of years, as far as people making a big deal out of the Intercontinental title, when has there been? I mean, Cody Rhodes brought prestige back when he was the Intercontinental Champion, but there really wasn't a lot of long feuds that he had with for that title. They were all pretty short. He had Booker T for a little bit. He eventually lost it to Big Show. He had a couple other guys, but nothing that really lasted several months like we have with Miz and Barrett, which is now going on 3+ months.
I think, yeah, almost 4.
Yeah, I mean, this rivalry started in March, the lead up to their WrestleMania match. So, like, well, let's just to keep it easy, say the beginning of March, April, May, June. There you go, 4 months. So, I think that's great.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, the wrench in there of Curtis Axel. So, see what's going to happen with that, which we'll get to later. But
yeah, next again, we'll come on talk.
But what about our star rating for this match?
Our star rating, I would give it 2.5 stars. I actually enjoyed it. It went through 2 commercial breaks. 2
commercials. The match went probably close to 20 minutes.
There were a couple botches, I guess. Things that didn't look right. Even the figure 4 at the end was a little...
He did look like he struggled again to get the figure 4 on.
Maybe it was because his wrist was wounded or whatever, but it didn't look
Let's say
clean.
that's why. That's good.
But, you know, I like seeing Cody Rhodes in the ring, and so 2.5 stars. I enjoyed it.
All right. You know, I thought it was overall an enjoyable match. It was kind of slow to me. I felt the pace could have been a little quicker overall in the match. And just the fact that we've seen, like I said, seen this match over and over. I mean, we saw it on Raw, and the match was about 2.5 minutes. And then on Main Event, they suddenly have 20. It's like, all of a sudden, Cody Rhodes is able to last 18 more minutes against The Miz.
Well, there's a lot of things that happen in wrestling that, you know, confuse us.
It's all supposed to make sense, Kaori!
But here's the thing. If Cesaro was there every week with the same person, I'd be happy, too.
Well, you'd just be happy to see Cesaro.
Or not just, you know, like some people...
We're not talking about your man right now.
Well, even Cody Rhodes, I like watching him in the ring, even if it's going to be continuously with The Miz.
I love seeing Cody in the ring. I'm a fan of The Miz overall, too. I mean, Miz, I think, has a solid wrestler. I think he's definitely worked his way into being a legitimate
he's not wrestling.
Babyface.
He's not wrestling enough, in my opinion. He's doing a lot of
he's constantly also. I mean,
he does
him and Cena are the 2 top, spokespeople for WWE by far.
Well, yeah, The Miz also has his Christmas movie.
He's got the Christmas movie he was working on, but he does. He was just at the E3 convention in Hollywood just yesterday or 2 days ago or something like that.
Oh wow!
So I mean, he goes everywhere.
And they need people like that.
They do.
They do.
They do. But at the same time with this match, like I said, I mean, it was good, but it was, like I said, it was really slow to me. I'm going to give it 2.
If you were maybe a 10-year-old, do you think you would have given a bit, like, do you think you would have more love for Miz, be more ecstatic about Miz? I mean, basically, I'm asking, do you think Miz is more of a...
I think Miz is more of a teenager fan.
Teenager, okay.
Because he's a good guy, but he's still got kind of that smart-ass attitude.
Yeah.
So I think Miz appeals to the teenagers more than Cena appeals more to the younger kids.
I think he's a good
And then
speaker.
Punk appeals to the adults.
Yeah, well, Punk appeals to everybody, I think. He's very...
A lot of kids don't like Punk.
Really?
Because they think he's mean.
But they like that. They like the mean guys.
Only the mean kids like the mean guys.
You know, we like Decepticons and stuff, too.
Oh, sure. And you know who you would normally think is a mean type of person? A serial killer.
Yeah, just
How's that for a segue?
That's a great segue. And speaking of serial killers, we can watch a lot of serial killers.
But we can watch happy serial killers.
Very kind serial killers. At Maria's and Kevin's movie, Serial Buddies, which is now available on iTunes. So if you want, for $4.99, you can rent it. For $5.99, just $1 more, you can actually buy it. It's a great comedy. Dexter meets Dumb and
Dumber is what I said last week.
Dumb and Dumber, created by Marina Menounos and Kevin Undergaro.
And then you got guys like Artie Lang, Christopher Lloyd, Kathy Lee Gifford.
Christopher Lloyd. I mean, always
it's
back.
Freaking Christopher Lloyd, for crying out loud.
And honestly, it is the most unique storyline you'll never see anything like it.
It is hilarious. John Molina, friend of our show, has a nice role in that movie as well.
Who came
Our very
over
first
one time.
episode, Gian Molina was here hanging out with us. Really funny movie.
Yeah, and so, you know, by going to iTunes and renting it or purchasing it, you are supporting all of us here at AfterBuzz. And, you know, we love doing this for you. And if you go do that, it just helps us out.
It prevents us from pop-ups and commercial breaks and all that stuff.
all those things we don't want.
And they could also just go to serialbuddies.com and click. It's a big red shiny button. You know, you always said don't touch the big red shiny button, and we're letting you touch the big red shiny button.
Ooh, the big red shiny button.
I know. So please make sure, check it out. If you want to laugh, then go check out that movie. And we come back onto Main Event, and we see Mr. Damien Sandow heading down to the ring. And he's got a mic in hand, which always makes me happy.
Which you love.
I love Damien Sandow promos. And he said, I think I actually pretty much wrote down his entire promo because I really enjoyed it. He was like, you know, Sandow starts saying, for the last year, all I wanted to do was enlighten the unwashed masses. And I've realized that I set the bar far too high. So from here, I promise that I will speak more slowly and use words that are more simple so that all you can understand. I also pledge to get my message across using physical means, which starts tonight and continues at Payback, where I decimate, which means, by the way, to beat up very badly.
I love it.
Your hero, Sheamus.
Sheamus. I have to say it now every time.
Yeah. And then the last line, I love, you may not like this, but you will learn from it. I think it's a great catchphrase for him besides the "You're welcome."
Most eloquent man in WWE right now.
That promo was 4.5 stars to me. I mean,
unfortunately, you don't have to rate that one.
I know. I don't have to rate the promos, but loved it. Got him over, got his feud with Sheamus over, how he's kind of changing his attitude. You know, just being like, he's been around for about a year now also, which is kind of surprising.
I just want to point out that people always talk about how nice Daniel Bryan's beard is. I want to say...
No one talks about Damien Sandow's beard.
Damien Sandow's got a dashing beard as well.
Your word of the day is dashing, apparently.
D-A-S-H-I-N-G.
Well, Damien Sandow is set to take on Sin Cara, who this week has very, 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 very bright green ring attire.
Which becomes less bright when the sleds
Thank goodness. For once, I'm like, thank goodness we have the Sin Cara lighting, because that ring gear was going to give me a headache because it was so bright.
I like bright colors. They excite me.
Not when they like hurt my eyes.
Sin Cara goes in.
And I like this. When Wade Barrett complains about Sin Cara's lights from the commentary, he's like, I can barely see my notes. And Josh Madsen's like, you have notes?
That's funny.
It's like, yeah, because we never look at you guys with all your pads of paper in front of you.
I don't take notes. These are just doodles.
Nah, yeah. She's just bored listening to me and just doodling around.
Yeah, okay, so Sin Cara gets in there.
Yeah, so, you know, Sin Cara gets in there, and, you know, this was just kind of it seemed like a very simple match.
I liked it more than the previous match.
I agree with you.
Okay.
Oh, no, I agree on that. Mm-hmm. It was mostly, you know, it was your typical Sin Cara got a few moves early on, then Damien Sandow took heavy control for several minutes. It's your typical match on how it goes. The good guy gets a few moves to start it, gets the crowd going. The bad guy takes over for a while. The good guy mounting his comeback.
Well, you know, here's the thing about Sin Cara. I feel like he can make anyone look good, and he looks good as well. There's something about him.
I completely disagree with you.
Really?
Because his opponents make him look good.
So you don't think that he's making his opponents look good?
No.
Huh.
Because Sin Cara, and it's no surprise if you just look at kind of like his track record on where he's been on TV and stuff. Now, granted, injuries have played a big part on it because he's been injured several times over the last year and a half. But he has not panned out how they thought. They thought he was going to be, you know, we also talk about, Ryan Klum mentioned it on Raw AfterBuzz, how he was supposed to be the next Rey Mysterio.
Well, that's why he's kind of not winning matches, but he's there to
because
embellish.
But he couldn't really carry the guys in a match because he unfortunately was making a lot of mistakes. Now the last few weeks, we've seen him against Cesaro. We've seen him against Sandow. We're seeing him against guys who are really good at wrestling people no matter their size or style. They're able to adapt to it. And it's because of that all of a sudden, you know, Sin Cara was great. It's something that we always talk about it in improv, where you say, you know, if it's two people up on stage for a scene, you're only as good as your scene partner. Well, it's true. The same exact thing goes with wrestling. You're only as good as your opponent and how that opponent makes you.
Yeah, you're only as good as your weakest link.
Yeah,
that's what they say.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, if your opponent is crapping to bed in the ring, you're not going to look very good either. He's
unique. He does moves that I don't really see often. Obviously, because he's a
because really the only person who does those moves is Rey Mysterio.
Well, yeah, and I don't see Rey Mysterio often enough either.
No, because he's been hurt as well. That's why they were thinking Sin Cara coming to replace him from Mysterio's age and injuries. But then Sin Cara was being thrown with those injuries as well. So, kind of curious, and that's kind of why they, you know, all of a sudden made Alberto Del Rio like the uber Mexican good guy. Because of all the injuries from Sin Cara, it's like, oh no, we need like a top. You know, Del Rio's not a luchador, but we need a, you know, top guy for like the Mexican demographic, someone they can relate to. And all of a sudden, then Del Rio started doing a few more high flying moves than he normally did.
Yeah, he does, but he doesn't have the look.
Well, he's not. Well, he's not a luchador, and he doesn't try to be a luchador.
So,
although when he was in Mexico before he came to WWE, he was wearing a mask as well. Like he was like a lucha libre type wrestler. He's just a little bigger than your typical luchador. But anyway, with this matchup, you know, we get to a point where Sandow goes for a backdrop, but Sin Cara flips out of it and counters with an enziguri and then follows up with a nice springboard drop kick. And then Sin Cara also then hits a handspring elbow, immediately followed by a springboard crossbody. Sin Cara loves the springboards. He does springboards more than anyone. Like every other move of his is a springboard.
But it looks good. I know it's repetitive, but it looks good.
It looks good when he gets it. There are times where he might jump a little short or things like that.
He probably gets it more often than I would.
I would fall on my face. The last couple of weeks, the last few matches that we've seen, the last 3 or 4 matches that we've seen of Sin Cara, they have looked better. You know, it's been a little more consistent, which is good. And then Sin Cara then hits a big kick on the back of Sandow's head.
I hate those.
Climbs the top rope, going for a swanton, but it's an awkward angle because, normally the guy, if you're going for a top rope move, the guy is usually lying, I want to say almost like perpendicular to whatever corner the guy's climbing on.
Okay.
So, I mean, for those of you watching, like if here's Sandow, if he's lying like this, then he'll be jumping from this one. Sandow was here, and he's still on this rope. So it just kind of looked like you're going to kind of turn and jump like that. Really, the only person was really good at able to adjust their jumping like that was Rob Van Dam with his 5-star frog splash. Because it didn't matter where you were in the ring, somehow he would hit his 5-star frog splash. It was bizarre.
Awesome.
Which is really cool. And then you say Sin Cara goes for the swanton, misses, and then Sandow pops back up, and it's his new finisher, which we don't have a name for his new finisher yet. But it's kind of like a combination of a rock bottom / uranagi and a side effect, where because he's lifted him up like the rock bottom, but then he's sitting down like he would for the side effect. So waiting for an official name for it, but then Damien Sandow gets the pinfall victory. Hey, 2 singles wins in a row for Sandow on Raw and Main Event, which for him is kind of rare.
Do you think we're going to see a lot more Sin Cara in the coming?
I think we're going to see a lot more Sandow.
Well, yeah, definitely.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see, because he's been on SmackDown the last few weeks, losing to Curtis Axel, and then he was on Raw. He was on Raw, but again losing to Cesaro, and then he was on Main Event losing to Sandow. So
I mean, to be fair, Cesaro has been losing a lot, except for Monday. Thank you, but
that match was really random. Also, I was like, where's this match going?
It was a little random, but it was happiness.
But needless to say, so this match, it was more entertaining than the first one to me. It still had a good length, still went probably between 12 and 15 minutes. And I'm a big fan of Damien Sandow. And I like, the commentary was also really starting to put over the story of Sandow and Sheamus and like the game of wits. that's been happening over SmackDown, because it's been a good, really just solely TV feud, and it's much more, like 90% of the feud's been on SmackDown.
Yeah.
So if you only watch Raw and you're like, wait, why is Sandow and Sheamus wrestling? Because you might have not really known that they've been feuding for the last month on SmackDown.
And I like how they're going to put that into payback.
Yeah, and it makes sense for it just to be the pre-show match, because it's really only been on one TV show.
But I like it.
Still, and off the top of my head, even though it is still a pre-show, I think this is the first time in Sandow's year plus in the WWE that he actually has a one-on-one pay-per-view match.
Really?
I could be wrong about that. I know he's had some tag matches with Road Scholars, but this might be his first singles pay-per-view match. I don't know, maybe someone in the and if there's someone in the chat room that knows for sure, because I might be wrong on that. But this is the first one that I remember.
So if anyone can verify that.
Yeah, but if you can. But meanwhile, star rating on the match, what do you give it?
I want you to go first.
You want me to go first? All right. Like I said, it was a fun, decent match. I'm not a big Sin Cara fan. I'm just not.
I'm not a big Sin Cara fan
He's
either.
not my big guy. I love Sandow, and Sin Cara worked well with Damon Sandow in this match, to give him credit.
That's basically what I was saying.
I'm gonna give it 2.5.
So the same as
I gave 2 to the previous one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay. I am gonna give it 3 because I gave the previous one 2.5, and I enjoyed this one more.
Okay.
Yes.
Fine.
I will do that.
Fine. It's been done.
Done.
Okay. You know what else should be done?
You tell us.
Well,
go for it.
Other things that should be done is giving us 5-star ratings, and I have the best segues in AfterBuzz. In all of AfterBuzz.
Wow.
In all of AfterBuzz, I reign supreme.
Do you need a Segway championship belt? Is that what you need?
I should have a Segway championship belt. Steven, make me a Segway championship belt.
Out of paper.
But yeah, you can give us 5-star ratings by going to iTunes and giving us the 5-star rating, subscribing to our awesome podcast. And this isn't the only wrestling podcast we do here. We also do Monday Night Raw. We also do Friday Night SmackDown. We also do the pay-per-views. In fact, after you watch Payback this Sunday, make sure you stick around, because Sunday night we will have a post-Payback AfterBuzz for you, where, we're all kind of like combining forces on shows and gonna give you a fun little pay-per-view recap. So that should be fun. As well as if you like shows other than wrestling, say you like talent shows like America's Got Talent, Corey.
Or video games like Game Control Live on Saturdays.
Or The Voice, where I happen to do that one. And all other fun shows. If you like the show, we probably do an AfterBuzz for it. So check them out, subscribe, leave comments, because it's important for us to see those comments so we know what you like and what you don't like about us. And again, the 5 stars. And also make sure you like and leave comments on our YouTube page. And we have a tout too at ME AfterBuzz. So if you got a fun tout and we like it, we're going to put it up live for you on our podcast. Then we get to the final recap that we can get.
Your voice got a hole. Then this happened.
Because this is a big deal. We're talking about 3 stages of hell with Cena and Ryback.
That's pretty deep.
Do you like that?
Very baritone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually more of a bass.
You are?
Yeah.
I think I'm baritone.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, we get a little recap, to further build this feud, where we have some clips from Monday Night Raw,
as usual,
where we had all the Lumberjacks, where it was great. We had like a JTG sighting, we had an Alex Riley sighting, we had all these guys like, oh yeah, you're still here. And because what I say a few weeks ago when I announced the Lumberjacks, like all the guys on the bottom of the card are going to get a pay-per-view payday this Sunday. So
look at that.
And look at that. And there they are in Raw. And so I'm kind of curious to see how many of them, because, Sheamus and Orton, they were down there as the Lumberjacks too. They're not going to be there during the main event match.
No, they won't.
No. I don't think, because they're going to be, I doubt it, because they're still going to be recovering from their respective matches earlier in the night. It's mainly going to be people that either were at the very beginning of the pay-per-view or people that weren't on the pay-per-view at all.
That's true.
Tons of Funk, primetime players, 3MB, they'll all be out there.
Everyone's going to be there.
Everyone's going to be there.
Yoshitatsu's going to be there.
Yoshitatsu. Yoshitatsu's getting a pay-per-view payday. And good for him. And yeah, so...
Could that be like my bonus prediction if he's there?
In case of a tiebreaker, we should name at least like 10 Lumberjacks.
That'd be awesome.
All right, we'll see. But yeah, so, that final build-up. And what I found really interesting, so this is the last main event before the pay-per-view, and there was only one recap for one match.
Well, I'm kind of glad that happened because sometimes it gets so...
I'm glad, but at the same time, we had nothing for Jericho Punk.
But there's going to be all that on SmackDown, and I just don't really
But what about the people that only tune into Ion Television?
I don't think that's true. I think I think if people have Ion Television, they also have the USA Network and Sci-Fi, so...
But what if their parents say, you're only allowed 1 hour of wrestling a week?
Well, that's a different story.
They make it main event.
1 hour a week? That'd be such a sad...
My mom did that to me when I was young.
So what was your choice?
Well, granted, we didn't have like 9 hours a week like we do now. Well, I mean, I really only had, because like Monday Night Raw, whatever, was past my bedtime at the time, or when it first started. So it'll be Saturday Morning Superstars, like 11 to 12 Saturday mornings for me. That was it. That was my wrestling, Phil.
So you chose wrestling.
Of course I chose wrestling.
Good
What are you, nuts? What are you, nuts?
I'm
of
a
course.
little nuts, actually.
Okay.
I keep it calm here at AfterBuzz.
You know what else was kind of nuts?
What?
The fact that the main event, no pun intended, was Tons of Funk versus the Usos. So like two face tag teams that are trying
Did they do that last
elevate.
week, though, or 2 weeks ago?
No.
Why do I feel like they've been in the ring together?
They might have done like a 6-man or an 8-man or something like that, because like the Usos have been on the last few weeks against Primetime Players and against Road Scholars. But so it's just a matter of, oh, wait, there's no one left for the Usos to beat except Tons of Funk, not without the Shield being involved. So we get this match, Tons of Funk and the Usos, and I like, because the four of them were just goofing around and having fun.
Yeah, it looked like a
They're
birthday
smiling,
party.
they're laughing, they're dancing like crazy. So I enjoy that, but at the same time, I'm just like, who do I cheer for?
Really? You were torn?
Well, because I don't know who I should cheer for. Because they're both of them are trying to get the fans behind them more and more.
Well, I think as a kid, you definitely would probably go for Tons of Funk. I mean, that's a house party right there.
But if you're a little older, well, if you're a little older, you might still go for Tons of Funk because you're looking at Cameron and Naomi.
Yeah. I mean, they do that booty thing, and you're like, oh.
Hey, Cameron. I like Cameron much more than Naomi, personally.
Really? I like Naomi better.
Oh, all right.
All right, well, choose to disagree.
That's fine. We each got one.
Okay, we each got one.
We each got a Funkadactyl.
That's true.
I like how this conversation went. So and Wade Barrett, though, Wade Barrett is just like seething at commentary. He's like, this is not my idea of fun. They're all dancing around. You should be fighting.
Because he's too mature for this.
I loved it. I love Wade Barrett.
That's his persona.
Wade Barrett was great on commentary. I was very surprised. But I mean, you're still a good wrestler. Do commentary when you're done wrestling, because I'll listen to it then.
But I was, you know, he might not be. He's probably not going to be a commentator for the future main event. So
no, because Miz will probably be back there.
The special guest will be fine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like a guest for a match or something like that.
And Ricardo maybe won't come back. Maybe they heard you. And they said, okay, well, Ricardo.
They do listen. They do listen to the show.
Christian Rosenberg.
It's proof. We have proof that they listen to the show, because they were going to put the title on Fandango, but then he got hurt.
Thank you for listening.
Yeah, exactly. A few little highlights with this match. Tensai actually hit, or Sweet Tea, hit a really cool looking monkey flip on, I believe it was Jey Uso, early on in the match. And then eventually, you know, they kept going back and forth. This was your typical filler good guy versus good guy match where no team really getting a lot of control of the match. Just simple,
well,
you hit a move, you hit a move, you hit a move, you hit a move.
Like you said, they were just having fun.
Exactly. We eventually got a T-bone suplex from Brodus Clay.
That makes me laugh every time. T-bone.
T-bone.
Okay, go on.
T-bone suplex. And then he hit his big splash. That normally ends the match, but then broken up by the other Uso. I don't remember offhand which one. Oh, Jay broke up the pinfall.
Okay.
Because Brodus hit it on Jimmy. And then all of a sudden, Jay popped up when Tensai ran into the ring for it, and Jay just lifted Sweet Tea up. with a Samoa drop with like ease, which is crazy to think because he's had trouble doing it on Drew McIntyre, but then Tensai gets up no problem.
Well, maybe Tensai has his way of helping him out.
Well, that's exactly what it is.
But
so,
I'm just like, yeah.
But, you know, it was impressive. It looked great. And then Jimmy and Jay together hit a double super kick on the Brodus Clay. Brodus is out, which then leads to their head shrinker / Superfly Snuka splash, where the more and more you look at the head shrinker / Superfly smack.
Okay.
All right. And the Usos pick up another impressive victory over Tons of Funk. And again,
would you really say impressive?
They won.
Okay, they won.
And again, though, going up that ladder to try to get that title shot against whoever emerges victorious at the pay-per-view on Sunday, which we'll talk about momentarily. And the Usos been on a win streak. They rocked the red shorts and the red war paint this week, which I really dug that. I thought it looked good.
And no pyro.
Didn't they have pyro?
I don't think so. But they aren't. Are
they moving up the card and losing their pyro now? I could have sworn they had their little pyro.
I guess I got to rewind.
I don't know. We'll have to double check. But then the main event ends with the Usos pulling a trick out of from their father Rikishi, and they're just grooving and dancing in the ring. Which is funny. Like I would have thought at the end with this, if these two teams are having so much fun together, then at the end they all would have been dancing together.
But that would have been a little odd, wouldn't have?
No.
I could imagine you commenting, and then Sweet Tea came on and started dancing with them.
Well, if they're all good guys and they're all having fun, good sports, we all like to dance and party, let's all dance and party together.
They probably do it after the show.
Just in the back?
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
Party.
They just got like a little boom box in the locker room.
Hey, I'd play. That sounds like fun.
All right, well, so what do you give the star rating for that match?
I would also give it 3 stars.
You give that 3?
Yeah, it was really short, but there was a lot of fun in it that I really liked. It didn't feel very technical, and it was just an enjoyable match to watch. You know, I like them, and I like all of them, all of the characters, and the Usos are. It's interesting to watch the Usos because they're getting there. They're going somewhere.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I find it kind of interesting, and I really haven't brought it up until now because it just dawned on me. Why main event? Their longest match is always their first match of the night, and not the main event. The main event's always the last match is always the shortest match.
Well, I kind of feel like the first match is always actually the main match of main event.
Well, and that's really what it is.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny. Yeah, it's kind of weird.
And also, I think that they have to put it first because that's how people want to stay tuned.
Maybe.
Because it's such a short hour where Raw,
that's
you
true.
can go
that's
back
true. You make a good point.
So.
I don't know. I'm going to give this match, I'm giving it 2 stars.
So you like the Sin Cara one better?
The Sandow Sin Cara match was probably, I think, was the best match of main event this week. But, I mean, this match, the guys did well. They had fun. Like, it was kind of cool seeing, you know, like, the camaraderie.
Yeah, that's
which you don't really see too much in a match. But at the same time, why was there camaraderie in a match?
But it was weird because there was something refreshing about it.
And it was way too short for a match like this.
It was short.
If you're trying to build both these teams, these guys should have got at least 10 minutes.
Well, I don't even know if they're really trying to build.
They're definitely they're trying to build the Usos.
Or Tons of Funk.
They're definitely trying to build the Usos.
Yeah.
So by building them, though, you should give them hard-fought victories over legitimate teams. And if their friends are Tons of Funk, then they should have a good competitive match with them.
Yeah.
I made your Segway Championship belt.
Oh, yes!
I love it!
Hey, there it is! Yeah!
That's awesome!
I reign supreme.
You only have half a head, too.
It's the better half. It's all right. Thank you, Steven. That's fantastic.
You deserved it.
That's going to be my new Facebook photo.
You earned that one.
All right, so let's get to our payback predictions because we got matches that are happening this Sunday night. Like I said, we'll get the Raw Cruise predictions. We'll see who can walk away with that 2.5 ounces of plastic and Velcro.
And you still owe me 2, just letting you know.
No, I think we're good. The first 2 are practice rounds.
No.
I was trying to see what you were capable of.
Don't doubt me.
But yeah, so we're going to get our predictions right now. Actually, do you have a pen over there?
I do have a pen.
Because I forgot to grab one. Let me steal your pen. That was great. Live podcast. Gotta love it. All right. So the pre-show match, which we talked about a little bit earlier. Damien Sandow taking on the Celtic Warrior Sheamus.
I think. See, I didn't put much thought in these because they kind of had a hectic week, but
Me. I had a hectic week.
there is. I do want Sandow to win, but I think Sheamus is going to win.
I'm the exact same way. I'm figuring Sheamus is going to win this, but it would be a huge win, and for them to elevate Sandow if they somehow let him pull off the victory.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to do that here. Maybe they have a rematch later in the week and then let Sandow win. But I don't think it's going to happen at the pay-per-view. So I think we're both going to go with Sheamus.
Yeah, Sheamus is the chicken dinner winner.
All right. Now, this match, I don't know if it's officially been announced on WWE.com yet, but they pretty much announced it on Raw. For the Divas title, Caitlyn finally will defend against AJ, who's been the #1 contender for about 2 months now. She'll finally get her pay-per-view title shot.
If there are 2 divas that I want to see, it's these 2.
And this is really the only one that's had any build-up.
Oh, yeah.
And this past Raw was outstanding when we found out the Secret Admirer was just a hoax by AJ.
I love Big E, by the way.
Did
I
great.
love Big E.
He did great.
He's just awesome.
Like I'm starting to think there's nothing that Big E can do wrong. Big E's been more and more impressive every week.
Even his jumpsuit, it can't do no wrong.
No, he still needs longer trunks.
I try to support you, Big E.
You try
all the way.
He needs longer trunks. Otherwise, I don't see anything else. So AJ, Caitlyn, who you got?
See, that's really tough because I think AJ. I feel like AJ is gonna win, but then there's gonna be like some trickery that she's okay. AJ is gonna win.
Oh, go on about the trickery. What do you think of the trickery?
I don't know. I just feel like she's gonna win out of some BS, some kind of last minute like Caitlyn gets knocked out unconscious because Big E Langston's hanging out there. I don't know. Anyway, AJ's gonna win.
Well, they don't allow men to strike women anymore on WWE TV. That hasn't happened.
Well,
really.
he can throw a bucket or something.
Since they went TV PG, that really hasn't happened. I actually think that they might let Caitlyn win this, which I want AJ to be the Divas champion really badly, but I think someone is going to come to Caitlyn's aid. Like Big E's going to distract the ref, and someone else, no idea who, is going to come out and then eventually kind of reveal that Caitlyn's like, I've actually had a little bit of a crush. And so there really kind of was a secret admirer, but it was, even though it was AJ doing all this stuff, there was actually someone else that kind of had feelings.
You have a very elaborate prediction.
I do.
See,
the short form, I would like AJ to win, but I think Caitlyn's going to, and I think we're going to find her connect with somebody.
See, I'm the other way around, where I think that Caitlyn is going to really dominate throughout the match, and then AJ, something is going to happen where AJ wins, but it's going to be like a half ASS win.
Sure. Half ASS, I like that. All right, so we differ on one of them. Okay. For the United States Championship, Shield member Dean Ambrose takes on the big red monster, Kane.
You guys might want to kill me for saying this. I hope Kane wins, but it will be Dean Ambrose.
Oh, it's definitely going to be Dean Ambrose. What are you nuts?
I go for Dean Ambrose.
Nuts? Of course it's going to be Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
Although I would find it kind of interesting if, say, Kane won and Orton and Daniel Bryan lost, and then
that'd be weird.
Well, no, then Daniel Bryan starts getting jealous of Kane. Oh wait, Kane won a title. I really am the weak link.
No,
because Kane was able to win by himself. I don't think they're going to go that far. I think Ambrose is going to win.
Yet another elaborate possibility.
I'm an elaborate person. That's just how I am. All right, so we're both taking Ambrose.
Yes.
And then we go to the tag title match. The other members of the Shield, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, taking on the weird duo of Dan O'Brien and Randy Orton.
I feel like that's a really, weird duo. It's so strange. But Dan O'Brien's entertaining no matter what. But
Dan O'Brien's incredible.
Yeah.
Dan O'Brien's the biggest thing going right now.
He is. And he might, obviously there's all the speculation.
I mean, with all these injuries that they've had, it's been a complete blessing in disguise for Daniel Bryan. Because all of a sudden, he has emerged as the guy.
He's lovable for all ages.
He is. And I think he's going to become more lovable because I think I've been saying this for months now. We're finally going to get the Orton heel turn.
I think we're going to
finally.
We might get a Bryan heel turn, too.
You think it'll be Bryan that turns heel?
It's possible.
It is possible.
I think, wouldn't that be crazy? I mean, there's speculation that Bryan might be heel and go against Cena.
There are rumors going around about that, but then there have also been rumors for months that Orton's finally going to go heel.
I read that rumor. I'm like, I like it. So
are we both going Shield there, though? Because I say Shield's going to win, and then I say Orton turns on Daniel Bryan. But you might be saying that Daniel Bryan turns on Orton.
I think it might be Bryan turning on Orton, but I will go with the Shield.
Okay, so we're both going Shield.
Yeah. I think the Shield's going to reign for at least the whole year since their introduction.
Triple threat match for the Intercontinental Title. The champion, Wade Barrett, taking on The Miz, and then taking on Fandango's replacement, the current undefeated Curtis Axel.
What a shame that Fandango's not in there.
They had it all set for my prediction to happen of Fandango being champion before SummerSlam. It was all ready to go, which is why I feel, and I don't think anyone else thinks this, that Barrett is going to retain. Because Barrett has not, I don't think has ever had a big pay-per-view win. I say he pins Miz, so Axel can still go on saying he was never pinned or anything like that.
Right.
And then when Fandango comes back, they bring it back in, and Fandango can eventually take it.
And you also, are you saying otherwise? If Fandango was in there, definitely.
If Fandango was in, I would be picking Fandango.
Right. Okay.
Since he's not, I'm saying Barrett retains. Which I know the easy pick is to pick Curtis Axel because he's got Paul Heyman and everything.
I know. I'm thinking Curtis Axel. I don't think The Miz. But you said all that stuff, and you're making me change my mind.
No. I'm not gonna persuade you.
You did. You persuaded me. Like, that's a good point. That rivalry with Fandango and Wade Barrett needs to.
Well, it needs to continue with The Miz as well, because Miz and Fandango will continue also.
So, I'm gonna go with Wade Barrett.
Oh, damn you! I should have had you go first.
It might be too soon. I should have had you go
first. I wanted you to go first on that one.
You made me go first first couple times.
Meh. Well, you go first with this one.
Okay.
World Heavyweight Championship match. The returning Dolph Ziggler, after being gone for about 6 weeks, defends his title against Alberto Del Rio.
I think, straight from the heart, Dolph's gonna win. That's just a gut heart feeling.
If they didn't have him drop the title due to injury, which they normally should, if you're not able to defend your title within 30 days, you're supposed to forfeit your title, and they didn't have him do it, they're not going to have him lose in his first title defense.
Okay. So
they're going to give him a ring. Well, who knows if you're going to be right or wrong.
I'm just kidding.
But I'm with you.
I know.
I'm with oh, well. Wait a minute. Am I working with a ringer? All right, so we're both taking Ziggler. The return of the best in the world, CM Punk, in his hometown of Chicago, taking on the man who claims to be the best in the world at what he does in Chris Jericho.
I think... Okay, I'll go first.
I'll go first in the main.
All right. I think that if CM Punk comes back, which I think he will, it will be him that defeats Chris Jericho.
If it's an actual match, it'll be CM Punk. I say that because it wouldn't surprise me if Punk shows up to the huge roar of the crowd, walks in the ring, the bell sounds, and Punk lies there. Lies down.
Why would that happen?
And then Jericho pins him just because he's not moving, and then Punk goes on the mic and starts talking trash to Paul Heyman. about why are you doing these for me? You know I want a time off, Bubba, or something, something along those lines. And then the crowd just gets right behind Punk again from his promo. But obviously that's the far-fetched one.
Yeah,
I would love if that happened, but I think it's going to be an actual match, and Punk's going to win.
So 2 Punks.
2 Punks. We're agreeing on most of these. And finally, WWE Championship match, John Cena versus Ryback in the 3 stages of hell.
Okay, so what's your deal?
I'll tell you what my deal is. Okay. I say Ryback wins the lumberjack match.
Okay.
And then Cena wins the tables match.
Okay.
And I have been going back and forth about this, trying to think what would be the best way to do it. But in the end, I think Cena will win the ambulance match and then retain his WWE title.
Was there any other ways that you thought Ryback would win? Because you were just saying.
I thought maybe there was someone else that came out that attacked Cena that helped Ryback win, and then Cena has a feud with this other guy that does, so it's not involving the title. But I'm not quite sure who that would be.
Yeah.
Unless they go full force on the Orton heel turn on Sunday night, which I don't see happening. I say Cena retains.
Okay. I can't, for some reason, I can't see Ryback having that title at the moment. Though, Cena's going to win. He's going to have to, in my opinion.
Okay, this is a really odd thing. Because now I'm looking at all our predictions. We only differ on one.
The chicks, huh?
On the Divas match. So to make it more interesting, I might change one of my picks. Just because to make it more interesting for us.
Okay, go for it.
So I'm gonna change one of mine.
That's very noble of you to be able to change it.
After my long spiel about Wade Barrett, I'm saying Curtis Axel's winning.
Okay. I took your spiel and made it mine. That's
exactly.
What happened.
So I'll just give it to you. So I have Axel winning, and I have Caitlyn retaining.
All right.
And then you had AJ and Barrett, and then we were the same in everything else. So we'll see what happens, and we'll do our post-show AfterBuzz Sunday night after the Payback pay-per-view. But in the meantime, Corey, how can people reach out to you?
You can reach out to me on my Facebook page and Twitter at KAORIOUS. And please come over.
Whoa, going to party at Corey's.
Come over on Saturday at noon Pacific time on AfterBuzzTV.com, where we are going to talk video games. And E3 was just here, so lots to talk about.
All right. And you can follow me on Twitter at CRosieVOC. If you're a fan of The Voice, you can check us out Monday nights at 10 p.m. Pacific. I do that after show, as well as, like we were saying, this Sunday night, Payback AfterBuzz Special Edition. I'm going to be there. I think Corey's going to be there. Some of the Rock Crew's going to be there. You should check it out. And for Corey, I am Christian Rosenberg. We will see you next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.